All right, good morning, good morning. We are here for the regular open meeting of the United Laguna Woods Mutual Board of Directors. It's a California nonprofit mutual benefit corporation. Today's Tuesday, February 10th. It is 9:30. We're in the boardroom on El Toro Road in Laguna Woods. We're going to call this meeting to order, and we do have a quorum. Thank you. Pledge of Allegiance by Kathy. Oh, wait. Okay. Let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen. To that one. All right. Okay, do we have any media here today? I don't see anybody out there. If you're online, hi. We need to get an approval for the agenda, please. If we have a motion by someone.
Mr. President, in order to provide financial information relevant to item 12A relating to the cost reduction plan motion, I propose that the treasurer's report in item 13A be presented first.
13A. Under committee reports, he wants to move it to new business.
Or do you want it as 12A and move the motion?
So the treasurer report with the financial information should come before us considering the cost reduction plan.
Right.
Okay.
Why don't we move it to 12A?
Yep.
And then entertain a motion as 12B?
B.
Thank you.
So they have the motion. Do we have a second? A second. Tony, thank you. All those, anybody oppose this motion? You oppose it? No. You're for. Okay, let's do it your way. Everybody raise your hand if you're for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, it passes. Thank you. Any other amendment changes? All right, can we get a motion to approve the, we did, we can get a second.
I move we approve the amended agenda.
Thank you, and I have a second, please.
Second.
Rod, thank you. All those in favor, raise your hand. Well, thank you very much, that carries. All right. Okay, now we need a motion to approve the meeting minutes from January 13th and January 22nd. Somebody give us a motion?
I move we approve the minutes of January 13th and January 22nd.
Okay, can I have a second, please? Tony, thank you. Anybody oppose this? I don't believe it. There we would be. Thank you. That's approved. Okay. My turn. Report of the chair. Well, good morning, everyone. This is actually my first meeting of the year. Last meeting I was unavailable, but we welcomed our new two directors, and that was good. We got people sitting there. And I would like to say that I really appreciate the work that all of you guys on the board are doing. I've been going to a few extra meetings and stuff like that. You guys are always busy, and I appreciate it very much, and I'm sure that the community does, for sure. And it's just a pleasure to serve on this board, and I think that this board is doing a wonderful job going forward. We will shortly, in the near future, open up the candidacy for 2 open director seats, and I know there are a few people that are already interested in that, and I think that's pretty good. We should be able to have a exciting election. Okay. At this time, what I want to do, Chris is here from the city. And he's been doing some coyote updates for the other boards and around here. And he said that he'd be more than happy to give our board and our people the same updates. So, Chris, thank you very much.
Of course. Happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I want to start by thanking actually President Prater and Vice President Quam for participating in a meeting with the city. I want to say it was a week before last, and also the CEO and her staff. As I said at that meeting, I'll just say it again. I want to state unequivocally that the city is committed to ending the aggressive and overly habituated behavior that we've been experiencing amongst coyotes. I want to paraphrase what our mayor, Annie McCary, said at our council meeting in January, that residents have every right to feel safe in their homes, and that certainly includes their pets. So that's the overarching theme with which we're operating. I want to talk briefly about a couple of things the city's doing to disrupt the pack dynamics and aggressive tendencies that have been leading to attacks on pets, falls, hospitalizations of residents who have attempted to intervene in those coyote attacks to protect their pets. The first part is abatement. Abatement is a key strategy, but I want to emphasize that it's not the only strategy that the city undertakes. Our experience from roughly 15 years of engaging hunters and trappers as necessary is that it has always helped to restore the peaceful coexistence that we've tended to enjoy year to year in sort of a check and balance fashion. It is true that this year abatement is taking longer than it has in the past, and it's required culling more coyotes than it has in the past. But again, based on our previous experience, 15 years of doing this, we believe that abatement will be one of the key strategies that gets us back to a more traditional wildlife-human interaction. We suspect that things taking longer is a result of increased coyote populations, not just here in Laguna Woods, but in Orange County and then more broadly statewide. Whatever the cause, we're committed to continuing abatement until we get back to peaceful coexistence. There's absolutely no truth to rumors that the city either has stopped or plans to stop abatement. It's going to continue until we get where we need to be. As I mentioned, it's not the only strategy. In addition to that, we have recognized that the more traditional forms of hazing, noisemakers, lights, making yourself large, those have had diminished effectiveness, at least with respect to the coyotes that are currently in the area. So in light of that, our animal services officers and very shortly the Golden Rain Foundation's security supervisors will be equipped with compressed air devices that deploy non-lethal water pellets at a high velocity. They don't kill coyotes, but they do frighten them. We're viewing this as an enhanced level of hazing, and we're looking forward to working with your security staff and then augmenting it with our animal services officers as well. And then I do want to credit your landscape department. Vegetation management has always been a part of what the city does with respect to coyotes. Landscaping has been a very good partner in timely responding to our requests for some maintenance and some trimming and pruning of landscaping to reduce coyote habitat, whether that's for denning or whether that's for layups. Areas where coyotes spend time during the day. We've been continuing to respond to resident concerns around that issue, and then landscaping has been very good about taking care of the areas that need a little bit of attention. While I'm here, I also want to encourage residents to please report instances of wildlife feeding to the city. You can do that by contacting City Hall directly. There's a number you can leave a voicemail at. That's 949-639-0512. Or you can email our code enforcement office at code@cityoflagunawoods.org. In recent weeks alone, we have seen instances of uncooked meat being left out in common areas, soup bones, dog kibble. To be honest, it's a violation of local law, it's a violation of state law, it's going to be enforced as such. But wildlife feeding is dangerous for all involved, right? It's dangerous for the person putting out the food, it's dangerous for the people living in the area that coyotes are now more prone to come back to looking for more food, and it's dangerous for the wildlife themselves. Wildlife need wild diets, not our diets. And so I would ask people to take the feeding wildlife issue seriously and to reach out to the city with any of those complaints. We will follow up on them. And then just in closing, I want to note that we are engaging our partners at the state level. We had a meeting last week with Assemblywoman Dixon's office. With her assistance, we are working on setting up a meeting with state Fish and Wildlife's management here in Laguna Woods, hopefully by the end of the month. And then the mayor and I will be meeting with representatives of the governor's office later this month as well to make sure that everyone has a full understanding of what's transpiring in Laguna Woods, and obviously to seek whatever support and assistance might be available to us. So I wanted to provide that update. I'm happy to answer any questions, but irrespective, you all know where to find me. Feel free to reach out to me if you have questions, or if you need any other information or have any ideas you want to kick around. I'm happy to have that conversation. I just want to again make clear that we're committed to getting back to a traditional level of human-wildlife interaction.
All right. Anybody have any questions right now? Jonathan, go ahead, please.
Is there an estimate of the, I guess that's all we can do, estimate of the population of coyotes in the village? And the second question is, the city has any plan of spading the male coyotes? Ever done that? Ever been considering doing that? Is there a benefit doing something like that?
Mm-hmm. So one of the things that makes coyote management very difficult, there isn't a reliable number that I can give you. Let me start there. But one of the things that makes it very difficult is coyotes have a range of many miles a day. Many, if not most, of the coyotes that you're seeing in Laguna Woods are not actually residing in Laguna Woods, right? We live next to, vast open space areas. Coyotes are very prevalent in urban settings anyway, and so because they travel miles a day, Laguna Woods is 3 square miles. They're passing through us. They're coming directly to us. Can't give you a direct number on it. We will be talking to Fish and Wildlife. I know there's been some community interest in that concept of sterilization or some sort of reproductive population control with respect to coyotes. To the best of our knowledge, it's not been done in California. And honestly, for it to scale and have a level of effectiveness, it really needs to be done, if it's possible, it needs to be done at a scale much larger than Laguna Woods. Again, we're a 3 square mile postage stamp in a much broader state. So it's a conversation we want to have, but I don't think that is a near-term solution to this problem.
Yes.
I wanted to thank the city, as all of us do, for really working on this with us. It's a huge issue in United because of the creek and just all of Southern California seems to be having this issue. So thank you for meeting with us and working on this. We have been trying to get people to understand that as pet owners, we have to take proper care of our pets, be on short leashes, be really careful to walk around. And I have seen in my neighborhood a big change in conduct. I think I saw one person on a longer than 4 to 6 foot leash, and so it's working in my neighborhood, and I'm glad for that. But the other thing is that I want to work in coordination with you on penalties for people who feed wild animals. It's just putting everyone in danger, and it's making it difficult for people to enjoy their neighborhood and not fight with their neighbors when they know that people are doing this. So when you work on that, will you invite us to work together?
Yeah, absolutely. The feeding wildlife issue is it is a serious attractant for coyotes, even if people don't intend on feeding coyotes directly, right? There's an indirect food chain that leads to a coyote. The City Council is scheduled to consider an updated feeding wildlife ordinance at their meeting next week, next Wednesday. If that moves through the adoption process, it'll be effective in April. That'll give the city and our animal services staff broader ability to cite and enforce. We did have a conversation with Assemblymember Dixon's office about the penalties around wildlife feeding. It's one of those issues that everybody generally agrees is a bad idea. It's illegal at the state level, it's illegal at the local level. There are some caps to penalties that can be imposed. So we did start a conversation there about it, but I think a good first step is an ordinance that gives us broader abilities to enforce without having to, for instance, ascertain the intent of wildlife feeding. So that's very much in the works, but I'm happy we can talk as well about it.
All right, nobody else? Okay. Chris, I want to thank you again. You guys are coming to all the board meetings and stuff and getting the word out there, and it's all appreciated. Two little things I want to mention on top of that is right now is breeding time for coyotes till the end of March. So we are seeing an influx of visitors coming in. So that's one of the things we're up against, okay? The other thing is they have a coyote hotline. Now, so if you're walking around, I mean, I have this on my phone. I see coyotes almost daily. But I have it on my speed dial, so I can call this in. But if you call this number, it is 949-639-0501. One more time, 949-639-0501. This is a message machine, or this is a message. So give them the time, the date, of course, and, one coyote, two coyotes, would give them the instance that you see that. They're not going to come out because, by the time they dispatch in, somebody get out there, the coyote's long gone. But that gives them a trail of what we're seeing, and that's what they are very interested in. So if we can use that number and that, as for coyotes going through fences and stuff like that, hey, last month, 2 coyotes right in a row jumped over the back fence of our property line. I have the property line, the brick wall with the barbed wire and everything, and they just cleared that like it was a vaulting contest, okay? So that was 3 of them that went over our wall in the last 30 days. So they're out there, they're doing that. Be aware, like he said, and if we can report these sightings, it really helps them get a map of where these guys are migrating. Again, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone.
All right. I think we will move on. We have a good long day here. We're going to open up the open forum now. Let everybody know you have 3 minutes to speak on this open forum. Okay, you can address the board of directors regarding items that are not on the agenda with the jurisdiction of this director's board. The board reserves the right to limit the total amount of time allotted for the open forum. So we'll give at least 30 minutes of time here, and you guys can speak 3-minute intervals. A member can only speak one time during the forum. You cannot give your time to another person. No audio or video recording by attendees, and no rude or threatening comments. Members can attend the meeting by joining the Zoom link through the websites, and there's if you want to email, it's meeting@vsminc.org if you have any other questions. So let's open it up.
Our first speaker is Ms. Dorothy Pacella.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, Dorothy.
My name is Dorothy Pacella, and I'm here on behalf of the History Center as a trustee on their board. As you know, every month we've been pursuing the education of the village in terms of the history of our wonderful village, and today's no exception. As you know, Ross Cortese founded our village in 1965. But believe it or not, he actually dropped out of high school and learned construction from his father. So one of his first efforts that he ever did was Seal Beach up the road for Leisure World. It wasn't exactly what he wanted. So he partnered with USC and the School of Gerontology to determine what are the best components when you build a retired, active community for adults. So with that feedback, he built us. And he learned that there were 3 important things that you need to provide in a retirement community. Number 1 is social. Number 2 is fitness. And number 3 is spiritual. And with those 3 components, you can ensure a long, happy, and life that you would live in the environment. Now, we all know social. We all do that because of the clubs and the activity. We all know fitness because I know you all are working out in the fitness centers every day. Got it. But the third one is spiritual, and this is the one that we want to talk about today. Ross wanted us to have easy access to places of worship. And so what he did, believe it or not, is he deeded property to the churches that were on the perimeter of the village. He gave them the property with 2 conditions. Number 1, they had to have a congregation of at least 100 people. And number 2, they had to begin construction within 2 years. So sure enough, right away, in April of '65, the Lutheran Church began their site plan. And a month later, the Catholic Church began construction of their church. And by 1967, St. Nicholas was the first church to open. So again, Ross gave us the land. He gave our land to the churches. And after that, all the other congregations followed. Our Jewish community joined us. Jewish, Presbyterian, Baptist, and Christian Science and Methodist. So you see, Ross took care of us, not only behind the gates, but outside the gates. And he wanted to make sure we could walk to church, short drive to church, or take our beloved golf carts. So needless to say, he took care of us inside the gate and outside the gate. So bless you, Ross. I'm hoping you're in heaven. Thank you for your time. Please come visit us in the History Center. We'd love to see you. We're open Monday through Friday, 11 to 1. And if the lights are on, that means we're there. Come on in. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Dorothy.
Okay, our next speaker is Chris Collins.
Good morning, Chris Collins, 3306Q, and I'm here with another update on the work that the foundation of Laguna Woods Village does on behalf of residents who are experiencing temporary financial crisis. So here's a New Year's resolution, and it may not be one of the most important, but it may not be on your list as the most important, but it may be the most important, and that is that's protecting your hearing. If you've been turning up the TV and asking people to repeat themselves or avoid conversations because it's tiring to keep up, it may be time to act, and finances should not stop this. Hearing changes slowly, and we adapt to it without even noticing, but untreated hearing loss has real consequences. Studies from leading medical researchers show it increases the risk of dementia, contributes to social isolation, and affects balance and mental sharpness. Treating hearing loss early is one of the most protective things that you can do for long-term brain health. So you can start by taking a quick free online hearing screening right in your own home. So there's 2 options. One is called Hearing Life, which is hearinglife.com/free online hearing test, or Auticus, which is auticus.com/hearing test. So if the results raise concerns, please follow up with a licensed hearing professional. If cost is preventing you from getting hearing aids, there's help. The Foundation of Laguna Woods Village is once again offering free hearing aids for residents who qualify financially through social services. This remarkable opportunity is possible because of the generous grants from the Memorial Care and the Samueli Foundation Breakaway Fund. So funds are available through October 2026 or until they are fully used. So this is how you start. First of all, you contact social services at 949-597-4267. You schedule an appointment to see if you qualify. And number 3, No, all applications are kept confidential. Even if your insurance pays part of the cost, you may still be eligible for some help. So, but you must be a village resident in order to participate. The new year is a perfect time to take care of yourself, so better hearing keeps you connected, confident, and fully present in the moments that matter. So for more information, visit the Foundation of Laguna Woods Village.org, or email is the foundation lwv@gmail.com. So let 2026 be the year that you hear life clearly again. Thank you.
Okay, our last speaker is Miss Diane Phelps.
Hi, it's Diane Phelps. I'm at 5587A, and I'm here as president of the Village Community Fund. I have some exciting news about upcoming fundraising events put on by two of the Laguna Woods Village clubs that we're currently working with. The first is the Village Reads Club. A book has been selected for the Community Reads event. It's The Instrumentalist by Harriet Constable. The event will take place in Clubhouse 7 on April 18th. It will be an exciting afternoon filled with book discussion, music, and also a lot of fun. The purpose of a Community Reads event is to unite residents by encouraging everyone to read and discuss a selected book. Such events are held by various groups across the country. We are lucky to have a club in Laguna Woods that holds annual events to give us something in common to talk about. The event is open to all Laguna Woods Village residents. For more information or to reserve your $10 ticket for the event, you can email them, the Village Reads Club, at thevillagereadslwv@gmail.com, or you can find their webpage on the Laguna Woods Village website. The second club I want to mention is the Camera Club. They have 4 amazing fundraising events planned with world-renowned photographer and videographer Todd Gustafson. The largest event will be a presentation entitled To the Ends of the Earth. It'll be held on April 26th at Clubhouse 5. It's a special opportunity to enjoy images, stories, and insights from a master photographer. The event is open to all village residents. Regular tickets are available for $30, but you can also buy sponsor or VIP ticket packages. For more information on all 4 of their amazing events with Todd Gustafson and to purchase tickets, go to the Camera Club website, which is cameraclublwv.org. The Laguna Woods Village Photo Lab currently has outdated secondhand equipment, so the proceeds from the fundraising events will support the Camera Club's campaign to establish a modern, functional lab. To make a charitable donation to help update the Photo Lab or any of the other fundraising campaigns, please visit the Village Community Fund website. It's villagecommunityfund.org. We currently have 9 fundraising campaigns for you to choose from. Village Community Fund is a 501c3 charitable organization that provides support for programs, services, and facilities that enrich the lives of older adults in Laguna Woods. Thank you for your time.
All right. Yes, Wendy. Not yet. We'll have director comments in a while. We have director comments coming up. You can do it during that. Pardon me?
I think she wanted to ask them at the speaker. Thank you.
I'm sorry, did you have a question for the speakers? No. No. Okay. All right. We will now, do we have any responses immediately to this, or do we want to wait? Anybody? Okay, very good. Do we have responses to past open forum? Tony, do we have anything?
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes. At the last meeting, we had Chris Collins, matter of 3306Q, and gave us an update on the foundation's temporary emergency financial assistance for program for residents. And we had Juanita Skillman spoke on behalf of the History Center And she reminded us that the History Center is not a GRF amenity. She also, that Clubhouse 6 was never a private residence. Patricia Glover inquired about the completion and timeline for the carport fire project. And she requested ongoing updates, and our CEO, Siobhan Foster, told us that the repair should be completed in the first quarter of 2026. Mr. Steve Leonard, an occupant at 696D, spoke on behalf of the owner of 696, Ms. Stephanie Roth, regarding slab crack and mold issues. And the response was M&C confirmed that the work referred to was completed by a mutual contractor, PRS, on April 2, 2025. And that pre-installed, they reinstalled a clean-out system on the adjacent patio, 6963. Since that time, no service requests from Ms. Ross or Mr. Leonard have been entered into the system. M&C has requested video inspection of the drainage line 696, which are pending, to confirm that there are no broken areas that may be leaking into the soil behind the building. Resident James Schaefer was here and complained about the installation sting. He is objecting to the new required purchase from Sting. He is being told that he must buy the service from buy a service from another corporation that is going to cost him $780 a year. He is aware that the contract is already done, but wanted the board to know that he and others don't like this, and comments made by those. And Mr. John Beckett is here on behalf of the Good Governance Club, and he provided information about the club. That's all I have, Mr. President.
Thank you, Director Liberatore. I had a footnote on one of those, and which one was it? Okay. I think you covered with John Beckett, so that covered that. All right. Any more? Okay. Let's go on. We now have a CEO update. Thank you, Siobhan Foster, for being here.
Thank you, President Prater, members of the board. It's my honor to give you a brief update on some hot items in our community. I would like to begin by announcing the Avoid Scams and Fraud Workshop. This is sponsored by Social Services and Manor Alterations. It is taking place on Wednesday, February 7. Topics include how to safely hire contractors, recognize home improvement scams, identify financial, government imposter, and tech support scams. There is no registration required, so please attend if you are interested. In follow-up to City Manager Macon's comments about coyotes, we want to reiterate the importance of coyote reporting. Reporting, as was stated, allows animal services to identify and target hot spots. Contact the non-emergency coyote hotline by telephone at 949-639-0501 and leave a message with the information, as President Prater indicated. You may also email coyotes@lagunabeachcity.net. And using the hotline keeps the Laguna Beach Police dispatchers available for emergencies while capturing important wildlife activity data. We also want to remind residents of the resident portal. You may use the resident portal to perform services offered by resident services, including reviewing your resident vehicle information, submitting and tracking maintenance requests with real-time updates, viewing account balances and making secure online payments, verifying emergency contact information, and it also has direct links to recreation calendars, board meetings, and maintenance schedules. You can also access external booking tools for golf tee times, guest registration, and facility reservations. To access the resident portal, visit portal.lagunawoodsvillage.com, or click on the resident login at the top of the lagunawoodsvillage.com homepage. The portal includes a built-in tutorial that walks users through each page and features step-by-step. We also want to remind residents to avoid duplicate charges paying online. Credit or debit card payments via the resident portal may take up to 4 business days to post. Do not submit another payment during this time, or you may be charged twice. Duplicate payments require manual refunds and may take up to 7 business days. If a payment still shows outstanding after 4 business days, please email ar@vmsinc.org before paying again, and AR stands for Accounts Receivable. Mail check payments may take up to 10 business days to post. Payment method reminders: no credit card fee for chargeable service invoices. Monthly assessments paid by card include a 3.5% service fee. To avoid the fee, enroll in Easy Pay, an automatic assessment payment option. Easy Pay forms are available on the Village website under Services, Financial Services, Easy Pay. And the 2026 Laguna Woods Art Association exhibit is now underway here in the community center. Residents are invited to view more than 140 works of art that adorn the first and third floor hallways of this building. Each piece is accompanied by a placard that lists the artist's name and contact information, artwork title, medium, and dimensions, and price if it is available for sale. Otherwise, it is marked NFS, not for sale. Residents and visitors may vote for their single favorite artwork through Friday, February 27th. Find the artwork number in the bottom left-hand corner of the placard. On the official ballot, available here in the community center lobby, write the placard number of the favorite piece, drop the completed ballot into the lobby ballot box. The winner will be announced in the What's Up in the Village on Friday, March 6th, and the exhibition is open during community center hours, which are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Friday. And lastly, the 2026 Village Games take place on Monday, April 6th through Thursday, April 30th. Registration starts on Monday, February 23rd. The fee is $15 for one event and $5 for each additional event. For more information, you may call Recreation at 949-268-2275 or email recreation@vmsinc.org. Thank you very much.
We are now going to look at the consent calendar. Just to go over since I see people here that are fairly new, all the matters listed under the consent calendar are recommended for action by the committees and will be enacted by the board with one motion. In the event that items removed from the consent calendar, members of the board, such as items shall be subject to further discussion, action by the board. The consent is with the statutory obligations of Civil Code 5501, a subcommittee, the board consisting of the treasurer and at least one other board members, reviewed the United Laguna Woods Mutual primary financials for the month of December 2025, and such is hereby ratified. I'll read a couple of these here. We have the recommendation from the landscape, nothing there. Architectural control. Now, we do have quite a few items that are recommended from the Finance Committee. I think we're going to do these under one vote. Is that correct? All right. So can I have a motion to pass the recommendations from the Finance Committee? Anybody?
We're going to do all of them at one, the whole consent calendar.
The whole consent
Yes.
calendar. Okay.
Mr. President?
Yes.
I move that we adopt the consent calendar.
Thank you, Director Quam. And have a second? Wendy has a second. All those in favor, raise your hand, please.
Are we going to have
A discussion. Would you like a discussion?
Yeah, I have a couple questions.
Okay.
If that's acceptable.
Withdraw.
We normally don't have discussions during consent calendar.
Right.
Okay.
So we withdraw. If she wants a discussion, we vote no, and then she goes ahead.
Okay.
So we vote down the motion,
Motion, and then we let
and
her
then
ask.
we let her speak.
Okay. We will do that this time. We will withdraw the motion? Do we need to vote or anything on that?
Mr. President?
Yes, sir, ma'am.
I thought that we withdrew the item that she wanted to discuss. No, that's not right,
No.
Tony? Okay.
No.
I'm not sure which items we actually removed. I just had a question. May I?
Go ahead.
All right. I just have a
No.
question on the 3 items that we are going to write off. If we had a discussion last month, I don't recall it. I don't recall why we were going to write them off.
What item number?
Those are items number 7, 8, and 9. I'm not opposed, but I just,
Okay.
These come to you through the Finance Committee, so your Finance Committee has reviewed them in depth and are recommending board approval this morning.
Yeah, they went through the finance committee and Steve was there to explain it and we make the motion.
okay, these weren't the committee updates that, because last month's agenda was so huge, we bypassed?
No.
Is that why I
No.
don't remember them?
No,
We discussed them.
they were discussed.
They were?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I'll withdraw my request then.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so we have a motion to approve the consent calendar. We have a second. And so all those approve, raise your hand. Okay, thank you. Passed. All right. Committee appointments. Okay, we're in unfinished business here. Let's go right to A, disciplinary update report. Do we have anything from that committee?
Oh, she's not here,
She's not here. Okay.
not yet.
Want to hold off on that? And I can
Yeah,
try
we'll
to
hold off.
text
She'll
them.
probably coming down. All right. Town hall. What I want to mention in the town hall is this coming Friday from 2 to 4 p.m. in the afternoon was our United Town Hall. And the subject matter and the presentation this coming Friday will be from Ting. So feel free to come and listen to Ting, and then you can ask them questions. I know Ting is moving pretty good rapidly, and so forth. They are on schedule, so come to the meeting if you have some concerns or questions. Thank you. Okay. Now we need a motion to approve the revision of the interior inspection of unoccupied units policy. In January, initial notification for 28 days. Notification for members to review and comments comply with the Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. So, do we need a motion to approve?
move to open it, I move to approve it.
Good, okay.
We have
We have to read the
it.
resolution first.
We have
Oh,
to
we have to
read.
read it first. We're
Thank
gonna
you.
reread it.
Resolution 0126XX, unoccupied unit inspection policy. Whereas unoccupied units present a number of concerns to United Mutual and its shareholders, including without limitation, potential damage to the mutual's common areas, and those concerns increase the longer the unit is unoccupied. And whereas the fiduciary responsibility of the board is to protect the mutual's assets, and it is to the benefit of the mutual and its shareholders to inspect the condition of units which have been unoccupied for a period of 6 months or more, or which are reasonably believed to pose potential maintenance concerns. And whereas, based on the evidence of the mutual's legal counsel and consistent with the mutual's governing documents, the mutual has the right to access a shareholder's unit at any time in the event of an emergency, and the right to access a shareholder's unit at a reasonable hour in non-emergency situations for the purpose of inspection. Now therefore be it resolved February 10th, 2026, that the Board of Directors hereby adopts the unoccupied unit inspection policy, and resolve further, if a unit remains unoccupied for longer than 6 months, and every subsequent 6-month period, a notification via email or mail shall be sent to the shareholder informing them of an upcoming unit inspection per the unoccupied unit inspection policy. This notification will provide an overview of the inspection process and will include a copy of the current policy. Resolve further that except in case of an emergency inspection, in which case the mutual or a representative thereof may enter without prior notice to the unit shareholder, the unit must provide a second and final written notice via email or mail to the shareholder of record of each unit that is unoccupied or presumed to be unoccupied for a minimum of 15 days prior to an inspection scheduled to be carried out in a unit in accordance with this policy, and resolve further that the shareholder is encouraged to be present, but it is not mandatory, and resolve further the mutual will conduct non-emergency inspections in accordance with the notice of inspection and charge to the shareholder any and all administrative costs and fees as set by the mutual for each such inspection, including the cost of gaining entrance to the unit as may be applicable. And resolve further, if the shareholder of record of an unoccupied unit objects in writing to the inspection of such unit, or specifically denies entry, the matter may be referred to the board for member disciplinary action. And resolve further within 48 hours prior to the inspection, if the shareholder does not provide a key or digital access, or there is no key on file with the resident server's key file program, the staff or authorized agent at their sole discretion can enlist the services of a locksmith. The member is responsible for the cost of these services. And further resolve to offset administrative costs associated with processing and performing unoccupied unit inspections, the board of directors of this corporation hereby adopt the unoccupied unit inspection fees in the amount of $276 per inspection. The member is responsible for all costs associated with inspection, and resolve further that additional costs may be charged to the member for any required services deemed necessary to complete the inspection, such as the services of a locksmith where there is no key on file, and to make any emergency repairs. Resolve further, the inspector must identify and note conditions within each inspected unit in a written report, which shall be provided to the shareholder by emailing or mailing the report to the shareholder's contact information as provided in the mutual's records, and facilitate the maintenance or remediation of adverse conditions identified to protect against damage to the mutual property, common area damage, or nuisance to neighboring units and shareholders. The shareholder shall have 30 days to cure the adverse conditions. If not remediated within 30-day period, the mutual at their sole discretion may perform such remediations as a chargeable service. Resolve further that necessary emergency maintenance or repairs, meaning those that are required to prevent imminent damage or injury to persons or property identified in the inspection, will be carried out by the mutual or authorized agent as a chargeable service in accordance with the mutual's governing documents. And resolve further that necessary emergency maintenance and repairs that are the responsibility of the mutual will be carried out at the mutual's expense. And resolve further that Resolution 01-1854, adopted June 12, 2018, is hereby superseded and canceled. Resolve further that the officers and agents of this corporation are hereby authorized on behalf of the corporation to carry out the purpose of this resolution. January initial notification, 28 notification for member review and comments to comply with Civil Code 4360 has been satisfied. I move this resolution.
We have a second? Any questions?
Yeah.
Discussions? Yeah, besides, breathe in. Thank you, Maggie.
First of all, I support this 100%, just like I supported the one in 2018, which just left out the reimbursement part, you know. But we all learn. Anyway, I said it then, I'm saying it again, just to be on the record. This is great, but we need to be either publicizing the, how do we know there's no requirement to tell us, or enforceable requirement, to tell us what we, being the, you know, the administration, say, oh yeah, I'm gonna be gone, or oh yeah, I'm gonna be dead, or oh yeah, my aunt died. I mean, there's no requirement to do any of that, and those of you who've been around a while, like old man down with Liberatory over there, I just wanted to see if you were still awake. Anyway, we often don't know. Now, I don't know, I can't think of any hard and fast rule, or I would bring it up, but I don't know if we could maybe have some penalty attached to that, like you didn't let us know that you were going to be gone for 2 years, you know, that kind of thing, or just some kind of, it's costing your mutual money because you're not letting us know when you're going to be gone for 6 months. I don't know. I've said it. You get the point. I don't know. Would MEC be affected by this? I just, that's all I want.
Okay. Then
You got my point.
got your point. That's a suggestion we'll have to take on later. Yes, Kathy?
Thank you. Excuse me. I am not opposing this. I do have a few, 2 questions. I think I've got my pink slips on. With regards to the owners of the units that are unoccupied and their notification by either email or by mail, how do you confirm that they actually received the email and they understand what's going on? And if it is sent by mail, do we send it
I'm motioning for Alan to please come up and answer.
All right, let me finish first then, please. Sorry, Alan. And then, lost my train of thought. Okay. Is the, by mail, is it sent certified so that we know, in fact, that they received it so that they can take care of their obligation, and it is their obligation, and if there is damage caused by their neglect, they should be held responsible. One more. Okay. I read this the other day, so I have notes here, but I forgot to put my note here. The written report that's given, is that sent to the owner, or am I misreading what this is, if there is damage to the unit?
That is sent to the owner.
I'm sorry?
That is sent to the owner.
Okay. And we do have record that, you know, they did receive it. I mean, certified or something where they actually sign for the letter, so that we've got something in hand to say, okay, yes, we know, in fact, you got it. You can't use the excuse, not excuse, you can't use the fact that, say, I never received it. As long as we have some sort of a signature, I mean, just to protect all of us as, you know, as owners. Those were my questions.
Fair questions. Let me address the first question on how is a member notified, or if they're gone for 6 months, what's their obligation? So in the resolution, that's why it's the first notification is 6 months out. So at that time, they get a notification. If they are living there, or if they're gone, they have a chance to respond to that initial notification, and we will adjust accordingly depending on their response. The second and final response is given 15 days out. So they have 2 chances to which to respond and update the records. As far as notification goes, it is at the discretion of manner alterations, but if we choose to email, there is a means to require a notification that that email has been received. There's also an option that a notification that it has been read. So if the staff uses that email format, that will be the procedure. If it's mailed, we will send that certified mail.
Thank you.
Yes, Elsie?
So, yeah, but if they don't receive it, or we don't have the read thing on the email or whatever, or we don't have the signature, then what, we just let the manor sit there until it rots?
No, the more accurate response is if we don't hear back from the member, then we will proceed with the inspection policy.
Yes.
This is another plug for buying HO6 insurance, because we receive so many requests of a person cannot afford the repairs, and they ask us to just forego their cost, which we can't do. So make sure that you're buying HO6 insurance, because according to the information we received, our master policy from travelers says that they will not reimburse us, the Laguna Woods Village, if it occurs over a period of 14 days or more and or faulty, inadequate, or defective maintenance of part or all of any property on or off described premises. Well, we all know when we go away, we need to have somebody come in and check our homes. And so I would just suggest they do that and buy adequate insurance.
All right, yes, Elsie?
I swear this is the last one. Okay, if I know that my next door neighbor has been vacant for, or in other words, if we know of a vacant unit, and I assume there's a reporting
There is a
system?
process.
There's a process, which is to call security or?
Well, currently the process is through community services and IT. They determine how an unoccupied manor gets onto that report initially. But there's nothing to stop any member if they notice a manor that looks to be unoccupied. They can certainly come into either resident services and notify them, or they can come directly to manor alterations for that notification.
Well, maybe we could publicize that and encourage it. And then I assume that we would check it out, right?
It will, yeah. We'll verify that against the records that we have, or if we don't have information, we will put it on the schedule to be inspected.
Well, great, because just like feeding the coyotes, right? If we don't report it, then it just seems like neighbors would be a really good resource to know about abandoned units.
Agreed.
All right, any other? So did we have a motion, right? Tony?
I'll just make an observation. My homeowner's HO6 policy went from $380 a year to over $1,000.
Oh, my goodness.
Yes,
Yeah, mine was up there too.
yes, Maggie moved and Elsie seconded.
Seconded. All right, any more questions? All right, all those in favor of passing
Yep,
this?
you're going to be voting on your screen, if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Which one?
We're voting on the screen.
Oh,
Please use your finger or the mouse.
That's 9.
And motion passes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If you want, we can go back to the disciplinary update report.
I'm sorry. Oh, disciplinary report? Yes, there she is. Good morning.
Morning, my apologies.
No.
I shouldn't work and focus on the TV one at a time for me. So this is agenda item 11A. So for the month of January, our cases actually have gone down. We were able to resolve items in clutter, delinquencies, illegal occupancy, and nuisances. So if the board has any questions for me, I'm here to answer them.
Any questions? Obviously, you're doing a good job.
We do our best. You guys have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. We did the orientation, motion to approve that. Now, should we go to new business?
Yeah, we're going to go to item 11D, discussion of sound attenuation.
11,
Oh, D, sound. Yes, 11D.
which number?
11D.
D as in dog?
D as in dog.
Did you do C or did you just?
We did
Just
see.
did see.
We did see. Tony, please.
Yes, this sound attenuation is a big thing for me. So we're going to bring this up in the Architectural Control and Standards Committee meeting. And so it's just a discussion. So we've heard from people in the audience, residents, and some of our directors here, the stories that we've heard about noise. And Director Tom Tuning gave us an excellent way to deal with this, which we ignored, and that is to bring in a sound engineer to give us his opinion. And if we all agree to accept that opinion, then this vitriol that's going around about this would subside. And so I also want to read into the record the purpose of a stock corporation. The purpose of a stock corporation known as the development is clearly stated in the bylaws, Article 2, Section 2, page 1, to maintain, preserve, and administer the business of a common interest development group, specifically a stock corporation known as the development, and to provide the health, safety, and welfare of the residents within the development and engage in any business activity permitted under California law. So I'd like to have that into the record, please. That's all I have.
Thank you, Tony. Yes.
I'd like to talk about this just a little bit. We tried on this last year, and we sent it back to committee I don't know how many times, and I know it was frustrating for all. But we did ask Tom Tuning, who has property in Windsor Gardens in Denver, and how they did it in their community. And they had certain requirements about what you could buy. And not only did they tell you what you could buy, they then inspected it. Because you can say, I promise I will buy this and put this in, and then not do so. So I hope when you look at this, you also put another cost, another fee on this to have them inspect it, to come back and see if they actually put in the right flooring. And I think that's very reasonable. If you want to have solid flooring on the second floor, that's really kind of a privilege. Most places only allow carpeting. So I don't think there's anything wrong with adding a fee to say, yes, I did buy the proper material.
We do have a member comment of Ms. Tony Mendel.
Tony Mendel, 31C. My comment is very short. Director Liberatore and I have been informed by Alan Grimshaw that staff will not be adding any agenda items regarding Standard 9 interior flooring, second floor manners, and Liberatore Mendel proposal and motion will be on the ACSC coming committee meeting on the 19th.
report from the Finance Committee. And I believe, Murad, you have this report?
Thank you, Mr. President. The Finance Committee met on January 27th in a special open and closed session. During the open session, we reviewed the December financial numbers for the 12 months ended December 31st. And as a result of that review, we acknowledged that there was a deficit during the 2025 of about $530,000. And we, as a result of that, and given the 2024 deficit, we passed a motion to recommend to this board that VMS look into a cost reduction plan. So this item will come to our consideration right after the Treasurer's report. The next meeting of the Finance Committee will occur on February 24th,
Excuse me,
2026.
I'm sorry, excuse me, Paul, do we have?
I'm sorry, I'm a little confused. Are we doing the treasurer's report right now?
Yes.
I am talking about my Finance Committee.
The Finance
meeting,
Committee.
Okay.
And then
Finance Committee.
right after that, yeah.
Yeah.
And with this, we'll go on to the Treasurer's report. During this Treasurer's report, I will highlight certain items that will be helpful to us when we consider the motion that's coming to us relating to the cost reduction plan. The slide in front of us shows our revenues and expenses for the 12 months ended December 31st. Total revenue was $62.7 million. The total expenses were $62 million for an excess of revenue or expenses of $688,000. However, this amount of $688,000 is an aggregate of two separate components. When you look at the operating fund, we actually have a deficit of $530,000. And this is what we're going to talk about. We're talking about the operating fund. So that's $530,000 deficit. However, on the reserve side, we have a $1.2 million surplus. So you're going to ask, why do we have $1.2 million surplus? We have a $1.2 million surplus in the reserve because work scheduled in the reserve was delayed. And we'll talk about that in a minute. So we're not going to focus on the reserve. We're going to focus on the deficit we have on the operating fund. So if you look at the next slide here, you see the operating fund. Revenues of $31.6 million, expenses of $32 million. So before depreciation, you have a deficit of $393,000. If you add depreciation of $137,000, you end up with the $530K number I just gave you. The budget was a surplus of $900,000 because we had a deficit in 24 of $900,000, and we assessed $12 per man or per month in the 25 budget to recover that deficit in 24. So the surplus, we had a surplus in the budget of $900. Instead, we come up with a deficit of $530. So that's a negative variance of $1.4 million for 25. Next slide, please. So here you look at the actual for both operating and reserve of 688, and you look at the budget. And again, this budget of 850 negative was a combination of a surplus in the operating fund of 900,000 and a negative variance of 1.7 million in the reserve. So consider, in the budget, we thought we were going to be down in the reserve by 1.7 million. Instead, we're up by 1.2 million. It means that $2.9 million of work, according to the budget, was not done. So that's an important item to consider. Next slide, please. So here, I'm going to start from the bottom and look at utilities first. Almost $500,000 over budget in utilities. 283,000 of that, so more than half, has to do with water. Our water volume was up, and it pushed our rates from tier 2 and 3 to tier 4. Tier 4 is a lot more expensive than tiers 2 and 3, and then the volume pushed the rates up, and we ended up with $283,000 over budget. Trash was only $132,000 over budget, and electricity was $58,000. So we need to focus on water, and that's going to be, should be part of our cost reduction plan. Now, with regard to outside services, you see we're over budget by $378,000. But again, that's an aggregate of two numbers. The deficit in outside services in the operating fund is actually 1.7 million negative. And it's offset by 1.4 million positive in reserve. So if you just consider operating, we're way under. It's not 378, it's actually 1.7 million. Why is that? What's going on? It's all about emergency work relating to water intrusion. We have plumbing leaks, roofing leaks, sewage backups, and that's causing increases in restoration costs, which results in increases in chargebacks to our residents, typically 50%. So if you look at fees and charges for services to residents, you see it's positive by $408,000. So we're charging our residents $400,000 more than we budgeted. Why? Because of these intrusions and residents having to pay their share. This emergency work relating to water intrusion, all these plumbing leaks and all this water stuff inside manors also creates dry rot. Dry rot delays reserve work. So if you look at the first line item, it's called materials and supplies, 1.1 million. This tells us that we had less use of materials and supplies in reserve by 1.1 million. Half of that has to do with delays in the painting program, for example, because of dry rot. We had to deal with dry rot first before we paint the buildings. The other half had to do mostly with appliances not being used. And then the last item I want to bring is, oh yeah, of course, if you use less material, you can also use less work. So the employee and compensation and related item is $271,000 above budget. It's because of the reserve, less work done in the reserve. So using less materials from the reserve and less work from the reserve. And that's what's given us those positive numbers. And finally, if you look at the insurance, we were $552,000 positive, and that's because the savings from the property insurance were not in the 2025 budget. So they show as a positive. Moving to the next slide. Here we just look at the components of the non-assessment revenue, other than assessment fees. And as you can see, fees and charges are on top, and that's due to the chargebacks I just talked about. Investment income and laundry come in third position. Next slide, please. The takeaway item here is in the fourth column from the left, 2025 year-to-date variance. The reason for the 361 positive variance has to do, as I mentioned again, has to do with those chargebacks due to the higher damage restoration offset by lower investment income. So the top item is the 470, that's the chargebacks, 408,000. And investment income is down by 77,000 because, as you all know, interest rates went down, thereby reducing yields on treasuries. Next slide, please. Here, we just want to focus on the fact that if you exclude property taxes, which are just a pass-through and not a real expense, if you remove that, then you'll see that internal and external compensation accounts for 65% of our expenses. Almost 2/3 of our expenses relate to compensation. So if you look at the next slide, and speaking of compensation, if you look at the first two columns, basically the first column shows 2024 year-to-date actual, And 25 shows the 25 numbers. You see that expenses are 2.8 million above last year, and that's primarily due to compensation, although service levels are quite similar. So consider service levels haven't changed, but compensation went up 3 million. So that is one reason why we need to become more efficient at what we do. Otherwise, compensation, which accounts for 2/3 of our costs, would keep going up, while service levels will stay flat. I'll move to the next slide, please. So now we're talking about the reserve. And as I mentioned, the reserve was not used up as fast as we thought it should be. And that's what accounts for reserve increasing by $1 million from January 25 to December 25, went from $13 million to $14 million. And that's, again, due to less scheduled reserve work and also less appliance replacement. So here we look at our reserve balances over time from 21 to 25. We just mentioned that our reserve balance at the end of the year stands at $14 million, and that's a good number. If we had our reserves fully funded 100%, that number should have been $50.6 million, so which means we are at 21% of full reserve. That's a very good percentage. Now, had we done the work we were supposed to have done during the year, the reserve would have been at 12.8 million, not 14. But we still have had a reserve at 25%. So I'm happy to report that the reserve is doing well. It's the operating fund that's not doing well. And that's why we will consider this motion coming up. Last slide, please. Here we're looking at our number of resales from 23 to 25. As you can see, the number of resales during calendar 25 dropped by 40 transactions. So that's a minus 11%. But I believe the primary reason why the resales are down by 40 transactions is because rental transactions are up. They're up from 894 transactions in 24 to 925 in 25. So that's 31 more rental transactions, while we have 40 less resale transactions. I mentioned this in the past. I think I see that we have a trend where people are favoring renting versus buying. And that is why we need to discuss the rental management fee initiative at the next Finance Committee meeting on February 24th, because I think we can definitely take advantage of this trend of more rentals and see if we can get some revenue from that particular trend. And Mr. President, that's my report.
All right. Thank you, Director Ron. Now, I think we get to the... So, look at these hands.
Yes.
All right, let's just start over in the end. We'll come around, okay?
Yeah.
Jonathan?
Thank you so much.
It's good to
Moran.
see. It's really good to see.
That was a great job. Thank you so much. Back to the last statement regarding the revenue from the rentals. Are we considering to charge actually directly from the amount of rent by percentage? And if that is, can we increase it as time goes, forward?
Yeah, thank you for the question, Jonathan. We actually did ask Steve to provide us with a staff report, which he will present to us at the next Finance Committee meeting. So he will provide us with scenarios and and also I believe that staff has spoken with the attorney to make sure to ascertain the legality of the next steps we will be doing. But yes, we will be looking at VMS assessing a management fee as a percentage of rental, possibly, or as a flat amount. We'll see that to account for increased expenses associated with renters being able to access resident services in addition to the owners.
Thank you. We'll go around. We'll go around.
What are the actual increased expenses?
Microphone.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Yeah.
What are the actual increased expenses associated with rental that justifies the rental management? What is happening? What is the management taking place that justifies the fee?
Yes, I would like us to wait until the next finance committee to have Steve, to give Steve Hormuth the ability to provide us with his staff report. It will be comprehensive. It will discuss the rationale for the additional increase. It will discuss the legality of any assessments we may come up with. It will also provide us with a view as to whether it should be a flat fee, and if so, how much, or a percentage. So I would like to defer to him until he provides us with that report.
Kathy?
Okay, my question. Now, because we are a cooperative by law, and this may have changed since I was president of my association in Torrance, when you have a co-op, you can only have a certain percentage of your units rented. Do we know what that percentage is based on the 6,300 plus manors that we have in United? And
correct. Yeah,
if so, under that other that provision, there was a provision made where a fee could be charged, but I can't remember all the details. But I would like to know what the percentage is if we are above what is required and if that law changed.
No, we're not above. We're actually way below. We are allowed up to 25%. As of the end of last year, we were at 14.1%, and we increased to 14.6%. Third is at 28%. So as you can see, we're actually half of where third is.
Right, but third is a condo.
No, I understand. What I'm saying is we are way below.
But we are below in the renting of
Yes.
the.
But we are increasing.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Mr. Liberatore?
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to see if there's any correlation between this $10,000 transfer fee and the increase in rentals and the lack, because I notice on the internet now this Rialto Glen and some other place are really spending a lot of money getting people there. So I'd like to see if Steve or somebody can see this new $10,000 transfer fee, if that's really putting a kink in our style for selling stuff here. And because I do know one couple in Third that are renting because they don't want to buy, but they have the money. Thank you.
Steve?
So it may be too early to tell given the fact that it just went into implementation in January. However, this has been a national trend. People moving away in 55 plus communities, people moving more towards rentals than purchases. So the last check I did over the past, I want to say 5 years, it's been an increase of 30% of people moving towards rentals as opposed to purchases. So there is a likelihood that anytime you raise a fee that people are going to be hesitant. So there's a possibility that there is a correlation. However, it may be a moot point for people who are moving in. So we'll see.
And Mr. President, there was an article in the Wall Street Journal about 2 months ago that talked that nationwide there's a trend for 55 plus to actually rent more than buy, and that has to do with lifestyle changes. People wanted to be flexible in terms of where they live, and also just not wanting to be in charge of repairs and maintenance and having the landlord do that as opposed to having that as a burden for them.
Okay.
Mr. President,
yes.
I have a few things that I would like us to look at in the Maintenance Committee and Finance Committee. I think we need an outside performance review of restoration maintenance and management. We go over budget on this ever since I've gotten here, and I think we need help in trying to figure out how to stage it, how to fund it properly, and I think an outside expert would be very helpful to come in and tell us what we're doing right and what we're doing wrong. I would also like to have an outside expert come in and review our compensation and have that by an outside company. Those are the two areas that we consistently go over budget, and maybe we're just not budgeting enough. I would like to find out from an outside source about these things. And so I will be bringing those up at the Maintenance Committee and Finance Committee. And I would also like us to look at changing our rules to allow from only one owner occupancy to move to two. I would like us to say, someone has to live here. You buy a property, you have to live here. But you could also buy a rental property. And I think it's only reasonable, just from what Murad said. People want to come in, but they don't want to take ownership of the building itself. I think it's a reasonable thing to look at. Third has been doing this forever. They've not fallen apart. They have a very successful condo mutual, and life has gone on very well for them.
I'm going to go through here.
Oh, yes.
Okay. Maggie, you had something?
Okay, I remember when it was only 15% that could be rented out. We do not incur any fees in United, whether there is a renter in there or not. We get our fees for the upkeep of the unit and so on. It doesn't matter if it's your cousin Jerry living there or if it's you living there. We have no difference. So there is no way that we can collect anything if they rent it out. That is not for us to say. We are looking at things that we cannot change. I think if you want to have a review of VMS and everything, that will cost us. Okay, so don't think that it's going to be free. It might use up all the difference that it makes. So just let's think about that carefully before we jump on ahead. Thank you.
Elsie? I think you had your hand up?
Yeah, I certainly did.
Okay.
I was missing, Monsieur Treasurer, the reserves sheet. Often we have that is included in the package with the financial report, right? Is there some reason we left it off?
I think this is the standard one, but I think I know which report you're.
Yeah, that shows the red, the yellow, and the green.
Yeah, we typically don't have that on a monthly basis.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of the, anyway, because I don't know, I don't see how we could go from, desperate budgeting to try to claw our reserve back, and now all of a sudden in February it's peachy keen. I mean, I'm not arguing that. I'm just finding it amazing, and I would have helped to have that little thing to look at, but they all look alike to me after a while. Now rentals, do we have that? Because what I've always heard about the rentals was I never heard the 25% figure for, because what it has to do with is our over 55 / tax exempt status is why that's so crucial. And did you get that verified from anybody, the 25%?
Well, that actually has to go to committee first. There's no proposal for that on here.
No, I know, but he mentioned it.
State law.
There's a state law.
Yeah, it is a state law.
And I'm sure our attorneys will definitely look at that.
No, well, I just like to straighten it out here at a public meeting because he mentioned it.
Right.
And there was some discussion about it. And I just.
That's a big change.
And if we're going to encourage rentals, I think that, because I know Third, years past, was sorry it had encouraged so many rentals, and they were trying to lower their rental percentage. Yeah, but, so let's see, 25% verified question mark and reserves where, just a comment. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead, Kathy, first.
I just had a comment with something that Sue had mentioned, that if united, co-ops, you can only own one unit. And if we propose something where we own one unit and purchase another to rent out, we've got over 6,000 units. If half owned and then rented, we would lose our 55-plus status. And that would be a bigger problem. It would encourage more people to buy and then rent, because they can charge a lot more money than what their current mortgage would be or association dues might be. To rent a one-bedroom, I believe my neighbor's paying something like $2,700 a month just to rent that from the owners. And I know for a fact that the owners purchased that unit at a very low rate, and just knowing what she does pay and all that other, the owners are making a very decent profit. So that's all. I wouldn't suggest changing our policy in co-ops to own more than one unit.
No. We cannot. We can only own one share.
Yep, one share of that.
One share. Wendy?
I just wanted to clarify a couple of things.
Microphone?
So currently, you can't own more than one unit?
Right.
That's correct.
In United.
In United.
In United?
Yes.
Never in 60 years.
Okay. I wasn't
You can go
aware.
across the street and buy a third if you want.
You can buy, you
Right.
can have one and one.
And my other question, when we're concerned about losing over 55 status, I thought that there was a requirement when you rent here that you have to rent to people that are over 55.
That's right.
too.
You know,
So
that's
that wouldn't
standard.
threaten that in
Yeah, that
any
wouldn't
way.
change.
Okay. And from what that report that I don't know who it was that gave it to us about Steve, it seems like we're well below that 25%. I think he said we're at 14.6%.
We
or
are
something.
below, and we're working, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
Paul, did you have something?
Yeah, when you're ready, we have a member comment on this item.
Oh, okay. Any more questions from the board?
No, sir.
Okay, go member comment. if you like. Mr. Ryder.
Grader 270D. I would remind the board that the lawyer has approved that particular proposal, which was charging a percentage of the rental fee. So if you got his blessing, it's up to you whether you want to implement it. The other thing is, I think it's interesting to take a look at, now I know mortgages don't apply here, but it's interesting to look at what banks look at when they give mortgages out. In the past, and we can take a look at what happens today, they would frown on giving mortgages to anything, a entity, apartment house, whatever it is, HOA, more than 20% rentals. And you can look into that and see what their rationale was. I'm not going to go through it now. I think that will come up in the committee meeting. And one other point, this proposal of charging a percent, I thought I heard you say VMS would get the money, but this was a proposal for United. Is that changed now?
VMS will administer the program. It would be the property manager.
Right, okay. But the money would go to our,
United.
the money is intended under this
Yeah.
proposal to
Yeah.
go to buttress our reserve fund.
Mr. President,
Yes, Wendy?
the rationale, I was in mortgages for 20 years, and the rationale behind it has to do with risk. So if you have an apartment building with 100, isn't this all? Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you have an apartment building with 100 units in it, and you have 50% that are rentals, then there is a much higher risk to the association. One of the first things is if there is a default, is they're not going to pay their fees. An owner is much more likely to pay their association fees than than an investor is to pay their fees. They'll let the investment go before they'll let their primary residents go.
Yeah. Paul?
Sorry, we have one more member comment on Zoom, if you don't mind.
Online, okay.
Let me pull her up for a second. Go ahead and speak, Juanita.
Oh, Juanita. Hello.
You're on.
Unmute.
If you can unmute yourself, please.
Here we go.
Okay, now?
Now.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I'd like to remind everybody that we are a co-op. We do not own our units. We do not own any unit. We cannot buy another co-op. We have one share, which gives us a right to occupy. And so all of this talk about buying extra units and owning and whatever, we do not own our units.
Right, we definitely are
Right.
aware of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But you speak.
Thank you.
okay.
Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder, Juanita.
One more. We have Cynthia as well. Cynthia.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Cynthia.
Cynthia.
Hello, Cynthia.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
I guess I'll be seeing you soon to do the presentation, but my biggest concern about this whole concept of rental upkeep and the owners still keeping their access to our amenities.
No.
And it has been happening and is happening. Even
It is happening, and we are aware of it. And
so
that's
my concern
something-
is, the renters are getting that, so it's a double hit on us when that happens.
That's correct.
And so how do we control that going forward if this is going to be, if there's more rentals in here, okay, then you have the concern about is the unit or manor being taken care of appropriately? Are the things that need to be done getting done? Because renters have a different philosophy usually from owners about where they're living. Not always, but generally. And so those are two concerns I have just by the visually seeing and talking to people around me here where we have renters. And I've had so many residents come up and say, do you know so-and-so is still going to take these classes, or they're going to use pool, and then they rent. And I'm like, okay, well, then, make security know, or, let the board know. But it really does happen a lot. And I really hate to see us paying for people to use our places they shouldn't.
May I ask a question of Cynthia? Cynthia, you are one of our VMS representatives, and I'm concerned that we've gone over budget repeatedly in maintenance. I don't know if we're underfunding or if they're not putting forward recommendations that match. On the water usage, we knew of the water was going to increase for a long time. I don't know why that increase wasn't included, or perhaps it did change afterwards. But I go to the water board meetings, and they say early on what their percentage is going to be. So maybe we need to coordinate better. I'm concerned about that.
Point of order, are we discussing?
And I would like to ask for your help with damage restoration and with compensation.
Okay.
Absolutely. And I do want you to know that we are as a board, I mean, this really probably we'll be talking about a little bit later, but as a board, we're being really proactive about working on the budget alongside of our mutuals this year to make sure that we have information to you that you need to have a proper budget set so that we don't go over, so we get a better hit for what we're working towards. And each of the boards on the VMS board are working with staff and in departments to really help tailor what we need to do. So we are hoping that we can make a difference this way, and that this year it will be a little better procedure and a little smoother procedure, and certainly a more effective procedure, doing our budget as well as the strategic planning all together.
Yes, Steve?
So I'll echo Cynthia's comments, and she's correct. This is a budgetary conversation, so I don't want to dwell on it too much. We'll come and discuss this when that time arrives. But in the past, the reason why we've held back in terms of the leaks is we've had excessive rain over the past few years. So over the past 20 years, California, we've just gotten used to living in a drought environment. So when we budget, we don't anticipate, or we could have anticipated, but we try to avoid planning for excessive rainfall because we fear this is a 100-year storm in year one. We don't anticipate it hitting again. So 2 years in a row, we're getting hit with big storms. So it's a balancing act. Could we throw a bunch of money at, and forgive me again, budgetary conversation. Could we throw a whole bunch of money at repairs and leaks from an operating perspective? Absolutely. But it's also a balancing act because we don't want to overcharge you through assessments for a 100-year storm that potentially is not going to happen next year. So you are right in terms of where that money should be invested is on the reserve side of the house from a preventative perspective. You did budget for it, but given there is various things that took place over the course of the year that Murad mentioned earlier, that we are unable to perform some of those services, but we'll look at them doing it again in Bill 26 and beyond. But once again, we'll have the conversations during the budgetary timeframes and see if you want to increase your assessments specific to leaks, that way we don't have a reoccurrence of this again next year. And that was the big driver in 2025, echoing what Murad said earlier in terms of why you ran over.
Thank you, Steve. Maggie?
Yeah, we could, at an expense, we could control the entry of the non-resident owner to the village by making the non-resident owner not have a gate pass, that there's only allow a gate pass for the legal renter and cancel the gate pass somehow. But that requires a whole extra thing and probably an extra expense for us. So if we want to do that, we can, I'm sure, in some way. It will make a lot of people mad, but then it's particularly the ones who are abusing it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Wendy, you had your hand up?
I think what people do is they have the renter put their name in. In other words, it's not, the unit's not under their name, but the whoever's renting puts an annual gate pass under the owner's name.
Oh.
And you see what I mean? And
Like
then that,
an all-time guest,
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
right now, we're not doing annual passes.
Right,
you're not what?
They're not issuing annual passes right now
anymore. No.
Really?
Why? Because of the gate system.
I don't know, because of the gate situation, I've tried to do an annual pass and found out I can do a 2-week or something like that. But let's not get into that. Well, that's a different,
See, it's a whole
conversation.
It's a GRF.
Yeah, that's
Well,
a
I didn't bring
GRF.
it up.
Yeah. Okay, let's go back and get back on point here.
Get back on track, please.
I have a question for Steve.
Can you wait till his report?
Oh, it had to do with his comment.
Oh, okay,
But
okay.
if you'd like me to wait, I'll write it down so I don't forget.
Write it down, we need
Okay.
to move along.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need to keep going here.
Because I forget.
Okay, right now, I think Murad, is this going to be now, the motion information?
Oh, we're at the motion?
This.
Yes, we're at new business. We're now going to B, with the entertain a motion to acknowledge the 2024 and 25 consecutive operating deficits and request staff to develop.
What page are you
Is
on,
that-
please?
Mr. President, there's a memo in front of the board members that was distributed, and I would like us to read it to the audience first before we, as an entry into the discussion. So
Right.
if you don't mind, if you can have the secretary or myself read it.
I'll read it. Okay, this is the United Mutual February 10th, 2026 board meeting, cost reduction plan motion. Background, the operating results of 2024 and 2025 raised serious concerns about budgeting discipline, financial controls, and operational efficiency. In 2024, United incurred an operating deficit of approximately $900,000. In response, a monthly charge of $12 per man per month was assessed in the 2025 budget to cover the 2024 deficit. On that basis, the reasonable and stated expectation was that 2025 would close with a surplus of roughly $900,000, or at minimum, return United to a neutral financial position. Instead, 2025 closed with an additional operating deficit of $530,000. In effect, despite a dedicated recovery assessment of $900,000, United experienced a combined negative swing of roughly $1.4 million against expectations $900,000 plus $530,000. This is no longer a temporary variance that can be attributed to unusual one-time events. The pattern of operating results over the past 2 years indicates that United is facing a structural cost problem. Repair and maintenance expenses continue to rise, driven in large part by recurring water intrusion issues that are both costly and labor-intensive. At the same time, utility expenses, especially water, have reached levels that materially exceed prior budgeting assumptions. These cost drivers are not likely to reverse on their own. Without corrective action, they will continue to generate recurring deficits. Therefore, this board should ask VMS to design a cost reduction plan to be presented at both February 24, 2026 Finance Committee and March 10, 2026 board meetings. The plan should be implemented during the 9-month period from April 1 to December 31, 2026, to recover the $1,430,000 operating deficit incurred during 2022 and 2024 and 25. The proposed recovery of $1.4 million represents 4.4% of the 2026 budget operating expenses of $31.5 million. The cost-cutting program should focus on recurring operating expenditures and permanent efficiency improvements. The objective is not indiscriminate reductions, but disciplined cost containment that protects essential services while eliminating avoidable spending and improving operational efficiency. This includes reviewing staffing models, vendor contracts, procurement practices, and maintenance workflows to identify opportunities for consolidation, renegotiation, and prioritization. Even modest percentage reductions across major expense categories can collectively produce substantial savings. Water usage requires particular attention. Given the magnitude of current costs, immediate steps should include aggressive leak and detection repair, irrigation efficiency measures, and a comprehensive review of water management practices. Similarly, the ongoing costs associated with water intrusion demand a shift from reactive repairs to prevention and root cause mitigation wherever possible. Reducing the frequency and severity of these repairs is essential to stabilizing long-term operating costs. Implementing a formal cost reduction program also sends an important signal to our residents who have already borne the burden of prior defects and deserve clear evidence that this board and VMS are taking decisive action to restore financial stability. Establishing measurable savings targets, monitoring progress monthly, and reporting transparency will reinforce confidence that United is exercising prudent financial stewardship. So go ahead and do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Marty.
Do you need a motion to accept this?
Yes, we do.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Do we have a second? Jonathan, hands up first. Okay, comments by anybody? Maggie, please.
Yes, we usually go over the budget 2 or 3 times a year, and so we are able to do that. But to just throw it all on VMS, we talk about what it is, how many landscape cycles we have a year. The board makes that decision, not VMS. The board makes a decision whether the paint program should be 10 years or 5 years or 22 years. We have to make those decisions. They cannot make that for us. If we allow them to make that for us, then what is our purpose as a board member? So I say no. We don't hand it over to them and say, work a miracle. We have to struggle through this with them. And they tell us, we say, how much would it cost for this? How much will it cost for an extra round? How much will it cost if we extend the paint program to 25 years instead of 20? And then we have to make the decision. That's why we're here. Thank you.
I think Tony and then...
Tony, yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. Well, I'd like to commend Murat for this work. I'm really impressed by it. And also, what Murat is asking is for staff to try to develop something. He's not telling them what to do. I had the pleasure of working on 2 ad hoc committees, one on water and one on walkway lighting, and the staff was invaluable with the research that they provided the committee. So I'm in favor of this work that Murat is bringing before the board, not to ask, I mean, staff are the ones that are doing the research and getting the numbers for us so that we can have something to talk about and talk about them. That's all I have. Thank you.
Kathy, go ahead.
Okay, just something to address what you're talking about. My father lived here for 19 years prior to my obtaining the unit, and I've been here almost 15 years. And at one point, water, there were a number of things within the cooperative units before I remodeled that a refrigerator was to be replaced every 12 years. Dishwashers the same. Garbage disposals, I can't remember the exact year. Water heaters every 5 years. Painting every 8 years. It was 5 and then 8. We have pushed all of these services so far out that by the time the repairs come to date, things are breaking prior to that. That is costing the association more money. Water heaters are breaking sooner than 20 years. And there are certain things, and with the number of units that we have, those costs are going to continue to go up. And I don't see any problem with just doing an investigation to see how some of these costs internally can be cut back. Thank you.
I think Jonathan was next.
I think that was me and
We have
Jonathan.
You first? Okay.
Yeah, I just want to reiterate what several board members have said. We are not asking for any specific items to be done at this point. We're just asking staff to look into the matter and generate a plan with scenarios for our next for the next finance committee meeting, and then to be discussed at the finance committee meeting. We'll provide some recommendations, and it will come to this board a month from now. It is important for us to exercise our fiduciary duty in view of 2 consecutive deficit years, and make sure we are in the business of running a neutral budget, i.e. no surplus or deficit. So every time you see 2 consecutive deficits, we ought to be concerned about it. And I think it is important and prudent for us to ask staff to look into it and come to us with a plan. Thank you.
Thank you. Who was next? Elsie, please.
I think it was Jonathan.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about Jonathan. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Madam Secretary, thank you for a great job. I really appreciate that. As you said very clearly, this body lives here. We have a common interest, and even though the VMS done a great job, but we don't want them to make a decision for us. We are the one, we should tell them and work with them, and as you said, struggle with them to go through this. Otherwise, we have no meaning to be here. I just want to have this on the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Elsie, please.
Thank you. In theory, I mean, this is great, and it was well written, and you really write well. You got IA helping you, right?
No, this is him.
No, I'll bet you he has IA. Nobody writes that well. That being said, no, I'm not imputing your. That being said, I think staff has. I think we all know we had a lot of rain. We think we all know that the former management company did not very much on, that's why VMS inherited, so much dry rot and so much dysfunctional draining systems. So that stuff happens, and we are a 60-some-year-old development, but we didn't get to our stage without reason. I mean, with the stage we're in without reason. Okay, it was years and years and years of neglect. So, and VMS, I know personally, is constantly looking for ways to save, and I think this is all great, and you're absolutely right. We should take notice of 2 deficits in a row. That being said, asking, I don't know how much time you're expecting this to take before next month, because we're going right into the budget season. It starts in March, right? Isn't the first meeting in March?
No.
No?
I think it's in April.
April.
Oh, is it April? I thought it's
April's the first real
Steve.
one, right, Steve? You changed.
Yeah.
So May, you'll be presented with a version 1. So, but the
Okay,
budgetary
May.
process has technically already begun because we're discussing it at the committee levels.
Okay.
So,
Right,
but you'll
that's
see a
what I
version
thought.
1 come May.
And version 1's going to come in when?
May.
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 Mm.
Okay.
Consistent
But
with each of the previous
it's
years.
starting already.
Mhm.
Yeah. And I just don't want to see a bunch of time, for a separate research, a separate report, separate presentations, right in the middle of,
Yeah, this is.
right in the middle of budget
This
time.
you might say is for current year. Okay? This is for our current year. What can we do from April 1st to December?
Right, but it's the same people doing the research.
That's true.
It could be.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Plus, it's the same here, too. So.
It is
No,
also
no,
true
no,
that
this is for this year, and the budget is for
Right.
next year.
Right.
I get that, but again, it's the same people doing the research. And I just don't like the thought of, I think it's a good thing to keep in mind, always, to streamline and to cut back where we can. But that being said, I don't like to take them away from their work, which is
Okay.
making us a budget.
I know, but we
But this
can't,
is
this was happened in the past, is we'll take care of it next year, and then we'll take care of it next year, and then we'll take care of it next year.
No, this is not a good example of that, I don't think, because this is an ongoing thing. We always need to be conscious of cost reduction.
And that's what we're doing.
And that's why we have all those meetings.
Okay.
Is in committee and the general board, the way, I mean, at least I do, I'm thinking about it all the time. And I don't think this is kicking, I hear what you're saying, but I like
Okay.
finding out when people are not in their manners, right? No requirement for that. And I mean, yeah, we do kick things down. I don't think we're kicking anything down the street,
Okay.
but.
Steve, did you have something? Steve, nothing to say? Okay.
I'd like to say something. Last year, during our budget process, we asked staff to come back with ideas to help us reach a balanced budget, and they did. And they came back with ideas for savings, and they came back with good ideas about how much we needed to increase our HOA dues in order to make things work. And they cut a lot. They did. I think we had a very small percentage of actual operating cost increases. It was, more money was placed into the reserve, if I recall this correctly. And they did a good job. I and several others had tried to nickel and dime them into saying, well, what about this? What about that? And we agreed collectively that was inappropriate. We needed to just ask them what they needed, what they could do, what could be deferred, that sort of thing. I don't see this as any different in asking them this. They'll come back and tell us what they can and cannot do.
Mm-hmm.
And that may include, we just can't do it. We can't cut down on epoxy lining. We can't cut down on roof repair. But at least we can go to our residents and ourselves, because we are residents, to say, if we cut this, this is what it means. Now, maybe we hold the line, maybe we don't do anything and we kick it over into next year. Well, that means a greater HOA increase. So people should know about that now, and we can discuss it. We can't ask for magic, and we can't ask for deferring maintenance that will only get worse. But if there are savings to be found, we should be looking at them.
Okay.
I think that's what this is asking for.
That's right. Thank you. All right. Any more questions? No more questions? Okay, now we'll have a vote on this motion. All those in favor, raise your hand, please.
No.
Ooh.
Screen.
Oh, online. Here we go. Push the button, please. It's 8, one more here. Is there somebody who hasn't voted yet? Paul? There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. And it passes. Thank you. Thank you, Murad, for the work on that, too.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Appreciate it very much. All right. Now, what do you go to? A's done, B's done. Committee reports, number 13. We'll make these pretty short and sweet. Finance Committee we did. All right, B. Agricultural Control and Standards. Tony?
Thank you, Mr. President. Our next meeting is going to be the 19th at 9:30, and we're going to be talking about the Architectural Control Standard 35 solar panels, and we're going to be talking about Standard 41 on electric vehicle charging. So it's an open meeting, and if you have an opinion, please attend. Thank you.
Welcome. All right. Member Hearings Committee. Megan?
Yes, we heard members, we had hearings, we decided things.
Okay. I love your reports. Governing documents, Maggie?
Okay, we met January, we met on January 15th. We had a good time. We're talking about the alterations for accessibility policy that is for handicap requests and things like that. Okay, future agenda items will be damage restoration policy and various related documents. On February 19th, which is
That's a very good meeting if you really want to
fairly
inform.
soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Com, landscape?
We went over the end-of-year costs and what we also accomplished, and we found out that it costs a lot of money for water. And what are we going to do about it? Thank you.
All right, thank you. Maintenance and construction, the meeting was December 15th. Very explanatory. If somebody wants to know what they're doing, maintenance and construction, attend one of these meetings. You can ask the questions. A lot of questions are asked and answered at this thing, and they continue to do a good job. You know, for example, we talk about the dry rot, and I walk a lot in driving around too. I actually have gone out to sites and talked to the guys, watch what they're doing. It's amazing how they're opening up these patios and looking underneath them and finding the dry rot and stuff and getting the jobs done right before the painting happens. So they're doing a great job. I got to say that. It's a good committee. Tony, we have energy in subcommittee.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Energy Subcommittee does not have a date for our next meeting, but it's very exciting. Stay tuned because there's a lot of things going on in the solar business with the EVs and all that. So we'll announce the next meeting and feel free to attend. Thank you.
Okay. Resident Advisory Committee, Tony?
The Resident Advisory Committee meets at second Thursday of every month, and of course, it's personal. We don't use Robert's rules, so if you have something you want to talk about or be heard, please show up. We're in the Elm Room at 4 p.m. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's go over some GRF committee meeting highlights. Murad, would you like to go over the GRF Finance Committee?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. The GRF Finance Committee met on January 21st, and we reviewed the GRF November financial statements at that point. The next open meeting will be held on February 18th, 1:30 p.m. in this boardroom. Thank you.
Thank you. Committee Activities Committee, Elsie?
Thank you. We met on January 8th, 2026. I'm cutting this. The only thing I was going to mention Ms. Guglio, during the report of the Recreation and Special Events Director, Ms. Giglio stated the following. Aren't I saying Giglio?
Okay.
I thought I was.
Okay.
My mouth fumbles sometimes. Anyway, stated the following, that this is pertinent. Several leaks were experienced with the recent rains, including the Clubhouse 1 Gymnasium, Clubhouse 4 Jewelry and Ceramic Studio, multiple locations throughout the clubhouses in Clubhouse 5 and the tennis clubhouse. Anyway, just this rain thing goes on and on and on, and the leaks. Also, Tom McCrae reported that golf carts were being restricted on the fairways due to recent rains. So this rain thing, this is California, and this is a desert, and we're really not equipped for for gentle living, you know, when the rain gets in. So that, and the only thing they voted on was, there was a recommendation to host the 2026 Multicultural Unity Celebration, and it failed, 2-5. So that was the only thing and the next appointment, the next meeting is, sorry,
To be announced?
no, it's February the 12th at 1:30 PM. Sorry about that.
In 2
That's
days
it.
from today.
Yeah.
All right. All right, maintenance and construction. Oops, I missed one here. Let's go to GR Landscape. Director Kwong.
Yes, we have a meeting tomorrow, and I would encourage people to come. What they talk about are community centers and the common areas that the Golden Rain Foundation is responsible for. So the last time we talked about our tree maintenance, how we're doing there. The Aliso Creek cleanup, it looks great down by the creek. If you haven't been down there lately, you might want to consider doing so. Again, the meeting is tomorrow. We hope you come.
Thank you very much. Now we'll go back to Director Addington for the Maintenance and Construction Committee meeting.
We met on December the 2nd, no, I'm looking right
that's
at
today.
it.
Wait a minute.
December the 10th, and we had a lot of good reports and stuff. And the next appointment, the next meeting is on February the 11th at 9:30. And anybody who's watching, I'm really sorry that I'm not speaking well today.
You're fine. Murad, do you have a addition there on space
Yeah, the last.
planning?
Yeah, Mr. President, the last meeting was on October 20th, 2025, and the next meeting has yet to be determined.
Okay, thank you. Mobility in vehicles. Oh, Tony, I covered this for Tony. I covered this meeting for Tony, and I got to say it was a very eye-opening experience. I enjoyed being part of the talk on this. They're working very good, very diligent. They're looking at things very well. They are going to propose, most likely, keeping routes 5 and 6 versus as the number 3. I personally have talked to people who have ridden on the new situation of having one bus for the route, and they had nothing. They said they were great. It's working fine. Okay. There's also a proposal out that we might be seeing soon that we start a bus route over to the Arbor area across the freeway there. And so they're doing a really good job. It won't cost us any more because we eliminated half of our route here and combined. So they're looking at the cost, they're looking at everything. So it was, like I said, an eye-opening committee. I enjoyed it. Director Kwam, you have something for the broadband?
Yes, the Broadband Committee was a closed hearing for many, many months while we were trying to figure out the contract and what we had. It's been open for several months, and we really would like people to attend. The next meeting is on February 23rd at 9:30 in the morning. So please come and listen to the progress. It's amazing how hard people are working and how fast the installation is going in. So we'd like to encourage you to do that. And we would like to also, please remember to come this Friday for the United Town Hall at the PAC, which is Clubhouse 3 at 2 p.m. We're really hoping that we get to answer many people's questions.
Thank you very much. Security and community. I think this would be Murad.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yes, the committee met on October 22nd, 2025, and the next meeting will be held on February 25th.
All right, thank you. This is always a fun one. Traffic and hearings. Maggie?
Yes, there were some violators in the village, and we built We build them for it.
Thank you. Disaster preparedness, Tony, you're up.
Thank you, Mr. President. Disaster preparedness, I don't have they gave me an old piece of paper. I don't know when our next meeting is, but
Okay.
I have never had any directives from United as to what they want me to say. So if there's something that United needs me to do at the preparedness, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Tony.
It's March 31st.
Mr. Director?
Yes.
It's March 31st at 9:30 a.m.
There you
in the
go.
boardroom.
Oop, there it is, Tony, we found it.
It's Tony.
March 31st in this room at 9:30.
Yes, it's right here, Tony.
Okay.
Thank you.
I don't have that.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
We have information technology. Murad again. You're doing good today.
Yes, Mr. President, the committee met on October 31st last year, and we had a good update report regarding the ERP project. The next meeting will be held on March 27th at 1:30 p.m.
Thank you. Okay. Moving along, future agenda items. Okay. All matters listed under future items. On resolutions, 28-day review. We don't have any, I think, today. Do we, Paul? None. Okay, go ahead. Director comments. We're going to limit you to 2 minutes. Starting with Jonathan, we're going to go, oh, no, wait. We're going to change it. Elsie, Director, let's go this way this time.
Thank you. Good meeting. I'm too cold to make any comments.
Okay. So noted.
No comments, Mr. President.
No
Thank
comment?
you.
Thank you.
Okay, we did have a governing documents review committee, and we talked about accessibility policy for the handicapped. So I'll just add that in. Thank you.
All right.
Well, it wasn't read out. No, but
All right. I would like to, my little 2 seconds here, I'd like to thank everybody on the board and the people that showed up today. I urge you to all come to the next board meeting, be part of our future. And that being said, I hope to see everybody. Another plug for Friday's town hall at 2 o'clock in the PAC Center. Director Kwan.
Pass.
Pass. Tony?
Thank you, Mr. President. I have nothing.
Okay. Kathy?
I have nothing at this time.
Wendy?
As a resident and as a director, I have an interest in the upkeep and maintenance of our community. I also have quite a number of friends who are very interested in buying here, but are concerned about the upkeep and maintenance of our facilities. So I'm trying to find out how I can address their questions. Where can I get, and there's very specific, like one I have is about the dry rot and the water damage.
Okay.
And is it being taken care of? What is being done? That's obviously reflected in our budget. So
Right.
is it being taken care of on a timely basis? And other questions just about some of the clubhouses and gyms and the upkeep and maintenance of the clubhouses and gyms and which have been renovated and when they've been renovated. And in the Clubhouse 19, there was a horrible stench in the bathrooms there. I don't know if anyone at 19 Restaurant and Grill, the women's restroom, maybe the men's too, I don't know. But there was a horrible stench in there. I haven't smelled it the last few times I went in, but I'm trying to find out what was the cause of it and what was, I'm assuming it was taken care of.
Yeah.
Since I don't
I will
smell it.
assure you, because the men's restroom down below, they knocked ceiling and wall out half of it, and I think they fixed it.
Okay.
So we don't see all this, but it is ongoing. And questions like this, I think, a very good question is to come to these maintenance and construction meeting, or
Okay.
come to the landscape meeting.
or
So
the
they,
GRF
so
committee.
That's
they are the
tomorrow,
GRF
too.
part. Yeah, go to the GRF. They have the same committees and stuff.
Okay.
go there, and I
That's
think
tomorrow
you can
morning,
get
yeah.
real pinpoint answers.
Okay, thank you.
I finally found it. I wanted to talk about the El Toro Water District Community Advisory Group meeting. It's tomorrow, 2/12 at 11:30. You won't get a sandwich because if you didn't register early, but the topics are always really interesting, so just come to the meeting. And I would encourage you to get on this because it's really very helpful to understand the water concerns in our region.
What time is this?
11:30,
You need to reserve
if you want a sandwich.
if you want
If
lunch.
you want
Yes, but if you,
Remember if I did or not?
I can forward it to the group here.
Well, she
Where
already
is it?
did.
Yeah, she did, yeah.
Where is it?
It is at the El Toro Water District at 24251 Los Alisos Boulevard, Lake Forest, at the main office building. It's excellent.
All right. Jonathan, do you have something? Comment. Your time.
Well, it's been great so far. I really meant it. It's a pleasure to work with the VMS group, and I've been working with individuals so far, and they are great. I have to say thank you very much, VMS entire group. Murat have been wonderful, and he's diving deeply into the financials, and I'm happy to be a part of the subcommittee, and I'm looking forward to working with that. And Maggie, the Madam Secretary, a world of knowledge, and I appreciate you very much so. Charlie, you've done a great job as the president of this group, and then first Vice President, Madam Sue, and the entire group, and then second Vice President, Tony, and all the others. Being a voice of 6,000 homes in United, it feels great, and it puts so much weight on your shoulders. We are responsible for all those who cannot talk to us individually day by day. But I've been approached on a daily basis more and more from our neighbors to the people who have seen me and seen my picture and stop and say, oh, I have this issue, I have that issue. And it's great to hear those who cannot or not willing to come to the public session such as this. So I do encourage everyone who is hearing me, please come into these open sessions, to the open boards, and bring your issues, bring your concern, and let us understand more and more of what needs to be done. We do our best. We live here. We all have the same common interest, and I'm sure we all get old together. So thank you.
Hold it together. All right. All right. With that being said, we are going to go to a recess before the closed meeting. It's 11:52. Should we?
12:30 if you wish.
12:30?
Yeah.
12:30 upstairs. Thank you very much. This meeting's a recess.
Thank you.